Brosplay!
A friend of mine had just saw a bunch of stand-up comedians live, I think in Toronto. There was like
a conference of them kind of thing?
Yes, it was a
show. Jesus, a fucking conference.
Comedian conference.
Hey, don't tell me you wouldn't go to a comedian conference. That'd be sweet.
Oh, fuck yeah. I can't remember who was there. No, can't think of a single fucking name. He named it like 5 people. But, Jim Jeffries was there. Anyway, but he was saying that he made a great point. There was this fucktard table who was just talking the whole time. And he said every time they distracted me, it would take me a minute or two to get back into the comedy. You say it's really hard. Like, it's when you get pulled out of comedy, you start to look at it really harshly, critically, yeah. And then you start to like look at it and be like, be funny, do jokes.
Yeah, that's actually Joe Rogan talks about how comedy is kind of like mass hypnosis.
Yeah,
where you're sort of leading this group of people, but in that same way, any form of suggestion can be easily broken. That's why when you go to buy a car, you bring someone with you, right? Because then you don't have this salesman who you're like, he's pressuring you and there's no one else talking. As soon as someone breaks your focus, you can go, yeah, no, I'm not spending that much on a car. Get out of here.
I would want to bring somebody and tell them, like, maybe you can go with me when I get a car, probably in the next year.
Can I be super obnoxious?
I want you to be like, I want you to never believe what they say. Like, he's like, well, it gets 24% better to the gallon. You're like, we live in Canada. Tell me an hour metric or whatever. I don't know.
Tell me what it's gonna do with the snow.
How
is it gonna deal with the snow?
Do we do liters? What's our metric?
It's actually really weird. I just started work, and in work we do everything on paper is in meters, but everything spoken is done in imperial. It's fucking weird. So we'll talk in inches and feet, and then when I go to put it on a page, I'll put it down in meters.
Centimeters are bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, inches make more sense than centimeters.
They do. When have you ever heard somebody describe a penis in centimeters? It's gonna have a bigger number, and yet we still don't choose that way.
I think that's response bias, if that's what they call it.
Response bias.
Yeah. So the only people who talk about their penises regularly are Americans, so it's all imperial.
Oh.
I'm thinking that might be a little bit of it, because there's 300 million of them and 40 million of us. So even if every one of us talked about our dicks, there would be 10 times more of them.
If someone ever asks you how big your penis is, whatever you answer, end with "on a good day," because it'll be funny no matter what you say.
That's a good point. Yeah, you could say anything from 1 all the way up to 40.
Yeah,
and it would still be funny.
Yeah.
Once you get into like the 65 plus zone, people will be like, "Man, you really need to look into that."
65 centimeters. Do you know how tall I am in centimeters?
Like 180, maybe.
175.
Yeah. It's weird. The centimeters are just so useless because a centimeter is such a tiny little... Come back here, you fucker.
I think I've already said this on the show, but I'll say it again. Jesus. What's wrong with this fucking renegade?
It's fucking renegade. That's what's wrong with it.
You want some? Come and get some.
I think it went down the stairs. What a bastard.
Sorry, head PE got me all out of whack. The fuck were we talking about?
Dick size. Well, centimeters mostly.
Yes, okay. So Service Ontario is our DMV, and don't tell this fucking game's got to tell you why you want to enjoy it. Like when a fucking agility orb runs away from you, no one needs to tell you that you should catch it.
You know you got to catch it. It's moving.
Maybe the first time, just so you know that it's not like, because this could seem like maybe it's supposed to unlock later.
Well, one of the things that will actually happen is see how it has 2 triangles around it? Mm-hmm. Those triangles indicate the agility that is required to catch it.
Oh,
so that's one thing where they'll go like, you shouldn't try and catch this because you suck.
But anyway, Service Ontario went there, and she says, height? And I say 175 centimeters. And she looks at me like I'm fucking stupid.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like, in feet? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, it says on my official Ontario, Canada driver's license, 175 centimeters.
So what other measurement would you give her?
Like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. That's such a weird thing. It's all over your documentation. But also, does it matter? Like, aren't you entering it into a computer? Does it, like, why do you care if it's in feet? You don't need to understand how big I am. You just need to write down how big I am.
Exactly. Yeah, no, 175 centimeters, right?
How do they even get that number? Do they measure you?
Yeah.
When do they measure you?
You take when you take a photo, there's a height thing behind you.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of an approximation.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad idea to know how tall someone is for something like, you know, you're coming in by ambulance, you're sort of collapsed on a bed, so they're not gonna fucking measure you or lie down to see how tall you are. You just grab your driver's license and think, okay, this guy's like 6 feet tall or whatever.
Or measure your shoulder width down or your shoulder length down.
I'm thinking now, I don't know why that would be relevant for medical things. But maybe it would be, you know, like someone who's 170 centimeters and you can tell is like a fairly thin person. Like, you know, you might want to take slightly different precautions. Actually, yeah, you might not. At the same time, like things like CPR aren't going to change. Like they're not going to press less hard because you're a small person. They're just going to break your ribs.
Yeah, well, that's how the body weight index works, right?
Yeah, the body weight index makes it seem like people who work out a lot are overweight. Like BMI, you mean?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, because the dividing line for obese is 28 in a body mass index, and there's a lot of people that register over that. Because all it is the weight of your body versus the height of your body.
Yeah, they don't consider the actual fat.
Yeah, exactly. That's why if you want to do an actual sort of true body index, the way to do that is to measure the person's fat using calipers. Because even apparently the electric ones.
Calipers? Is that thing that it's like it grips you?
Yeah, yeah. Like they usually use them for measuring like obscurely shaped objects, which we are. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it takes a very long time. I don't think it's like a cheap thing to do. They usually use electric scales. Like if you go to a gym or something, they'll just put you on a scale and it like runs a current through you. And I guess the more fat you have, the more resistive you are.
Have you ever used the scale that you have to actually balance it?
Really? Like you have to balance your weight over it for it to take a reading?
The thing, you like slide it back and forth?
Oh. I thought you meant like a
like
balance
a
board that you're standing on.
Weight under balance.
Yeah, I've oh my god. I have definitely used one of those. Most gyms have those.
Yeah.
They're really common for that. And I like them. I think they call them a mass beam balance.
A mass beam balance.
It's definitely a beam balance scale, I'm pretty sure.
Was this we were here in the last game, eh? This was a
this was a boss area.
The villa. Yeah, I remember the guy in that room.
It's a pretty convenient place to put these types of things since they're supposed to be secure locations. Yeah. Like out on an island surrounded by oh shit, I'm out of bullets.
Whoa, I thought you fired that. That was cool.
Not out of bullets anymore. Rocket turret.
I have never been dizzy during a show before.
You're dizzy from all the movement?
Probably from drinking this early in the day.
Yeah, it's noon. We're drinking. Deal with it.
It's my first of 3 days off in a row. Fuck.
That's great. First of 3, better than last of 3.
Yeah, unless you accomplish something.
Touché. Yeah, I can't believe they're not knocking me over with half of these things are shooting at me. Like, I'm getting hit by so many explosives, and it doesn't seem to be phasing me at all.
Does anything knock you over?
Yeah, really intense explosions still seem to.
I
can't... What the fuck is going on here? I can't shoot. That's really weird.
Is somebody disabling you?
I don't think they can disable me in any way. Not that I know of.
Can this gun shoot?
Yeah. There's just 30 bullets left in this thing, so I figured it'd... Jesus, they're everywhere. They're like rodents in this one. This is, I think, one of the things about this game that I don't really like is that in the last supply points, you just run up, hit Y, and you're good. But here, I have to activate it, then I have to fight all of the enemies who are going to spawn from random locations, and then I'm only lucky if there's just one spot. If there's 2 locations in that tactical stronghold,
I don't like unlimited enemies, and I don't like randomly spawning ones for the most part. I think it's done pretty well in things like Left 4 Dead. But even then, that's such a consistent... it's a really consistent spawn system in Left 4 Dead. Like, it's so consistent that it doesn't really... like,
doesn't feel that random.
Yeah, each time you play through a map, there's not a huge amount of variation.
Yeah, you actually get waves in the same spots. You get some very familiar feelings. You also get music, which indicates that enemies are coming, and that's really cool.
That's an interesting thing. Is the actually it might even 1 and 2, but definitely in 1 you can turn on subtitles, and it actually improves your gameplay because it will say in brackets like tank,
horde incoming.
Yeah, horde incoming, tank screaming, shit like that. Like,
which is pretty cool because subtitles is supposed to be for the hearing impaired, right? So it only makes sense that everything would be there for the hearing impaired.
That's a good point. Are these civilians?
Yeah, well, it's actually a really good commentary. These civilians aren't afraid of Cell at all, but when I show up, they're running.
Run, yeah.
That it's a weird sort of subplot to this game that you don't really notice because the whole goddamn time this guy's talking in your ear.
It's interesting because it doesn't really highlight, like, I don't remember there being much of a resolution to this game. Is there?
Yeah, well, sort of.
Oh, okay. But
they left an opening for a 3rd game, which I hope they do and make it all of the best things from this and all of the best things from the first.
They're making it now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, if they really watch our playthroughs and take all of our advice and, take some of their own as well, I'm sure the 3rd game could be phenomenal. But there's also a possibility it's just going to be more watered down than this one was.
It could be.
You recognize this place.
Yes.
We approached it from a different angle. But...
No. Where is this?
This is, Gonzalez was at the top of that tower.
Oh.
You can actually fall down that hole. I think it did,
actually,
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's when you were talking about Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah.
And woo!
Oh, dude, they released 6969.
I did notice that video came out. I haven't seen it on YouTube.
I didn't. I wanted to watch it with you.
Oh, we should definitely do that.
Yeah, it's
maybe the second time we watched it together.
Yeah, we saw an early showing of it at their concert.
We are exclusive as fuck.
Which I don't know if they that was a huge risk.
Standing up there like that?
No,
showing that to us.
Yeah. Because you never want someone to release your stuff before it comes out, but they spent a long time on that video and on the song. Like I think they said 2.5 years, or 2 years on the song, 1.5 years on the video, because it's a really complicated video, and so so
it's a long video.
He said, it's really. I think it's like a 9-minute song.
Wow.
And he says, what Danny said in the concert, please don't record this. And that was a massive risk because it would have been so hard to stop people. And I didn't see any cameras, so that's pretty cool.
It was a good crowd. It felt really good.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel like there was people there who were like, oh, I'm going to make some money off this by throwing it up on YouTube. Like, most people were very in favor of supporting the band.
I think it's the crowd that you attract with comedy music.
I don't know, actually. I wonder whether there would be crowds, like, for comedy bands that wouldn't be as good, but a comedy crowd definitely has a certain feel to it. Like, in general, a comedy crowd.
Yeah, because I would love to say that it was Canadian, but Toronto is like... Toronto's very...
it's the New York of Canada.
It's the New York of Canada. It's got every culture mashed together, stacked on top of each other.
Well, and it's really hard to be a nice person when you're living in extremely close proximity to people. That's the way it is universally across the world. People just aren't as nice when they're in huge cities.
Yeah, well, especially when you see people all the time. Like, Dad talks all the time about being in a small town. Like, every decision you make is very likely to come back to you because that person probably knows you.
Yeah, that's true.
In Toronto, you can just walk around flipping people off. You might not ever see them again. Especially if you don't live there.
And you probably won't see them again.
Yeah.
But if you do, you're Fucksville.
Yeah. Yeah, Torontonians will fuck you up. Dad got mugged in Toronto.
That's going back a ways, though. How many years ago is that?
100 at least.
You weren't even born.
Yeah. So like
Jesus.
1895 then?
Yeah, that's got to be back in the Renaissance. He's listening to this going, those fucking pricks.
I gave you life. I brought you into this world.
You know exactly when it was. God damn it.
I don't actually know.
Oh, me neither. Yeah. I just could definitely approximate better than 1860.
I don't even care about my birthdays. When people get upset that I don't remember their birthday, I'm like, fuck, I don't...
If you're not my family, I'll remember, or I'll try to remember. But the hardest part is not remembering the day. It's remembering on the day that it is also a birthday.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn it, your birthday will come around every year. And I'll be like, okay, it's, you know, it's this day of the month and whatever. And then Facebook's like, it's your brother's birthday. Oh, fuck, yeah, it's my brother's birthday. There's a significance to this day. You know, you just go about your life. Not everyone wakes up and goes, what significant dates do we have now?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.